This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
And welcome to the latest edition of the Check the Report podcast. I am your host, Vito. And on this episode of the podcast, my guest is Detroit Mercy star, freshman guard, and already a two-time Horizon League Freshman of the Week winner in Antoine Davis, the son of Detroit Mercy head coach Mike Davis. And Antoine Davis has, up to this point in this season, through 10 games, Detroit Mercy standing at 3-7. Davis has recorded 27.5 points, nearly at 27.4 points per game, at a clip of 40.8% shooting from the field and 44.3% from three-point range. He has been the definition of a scorer and a volume scorer, as Rashad Phillips, former Titans player, Titans legend, and all-time leading scorer, did say about Antoine. And in this interview of mine with Antoine, I did bring up Rashad's breakdown of Antoine's game, and Antoine responded to that. We also talked about what he credits his success to thus far, about playing for his dad and his brother, Mike Davis Jr., who is an assistant coach at Detroit Mercy, about who is harder on him, about meeting Willie Green while the Warriors were in town, about meeting some Warriors players, about the player that he would most like to play in a one-on-one game. All of that and more coming up with Antoine in just a second, but first, let me thank the sponsors of this edition of the Check the Report podcast, Motor City Pawnbrokers and Tap and Barrel Grill. And you can check out everything about Motor City Pawn at motorcitypawnbrokers.com. And you can check out everything about Tap and Barrel Grill by going online to tapandbarrelgrill.com. Without further ado, here is my chat now with Antoine Davis. Congrats on the great start to your season, by the way, into your collegiate career. So we got to start off with this. 5 30-point games for yourself and your first 10 games as a college hoops player. What do you credit your success to?
Just all the hard work I've been putting in since 7th grade and just sticking with it no matter what, through the ups and downs.
And now through 10 games so far, what's it been like, 10 regular season games plus an exhibition contest against Wayne State, what's it been like playing for your father, Detroit Mercy head coach Mike Davis?
It's a good experience. We're both getting to gel with each other. We hang out with each other more. It's brought us close together.
How hard is he on you? I got to believe pretty darn hard, as you're his son, and he wants the best out of you, and he expects a lot, and you've had a great start to the season, obviously, as I already said, and and everybody's talking about you. So, how hard is he on you at times? And then also, I know you have your brother, Mike Davis Jr., as an assistant coach on this staff this year. Who's harder on you, Dad or Mike?
My dad is definitely more harder on me, but my brother, he's more of keeps me motivated, keeps me confident. My dad is more of he gets on me, but he means it in a good way. He's been on me my whole life, so I'm more of used to what he says now.
Now, how's that sibling rivalry with your brother, by the way? How has it been throughout your life up to this point?
It's been good. We've had our ups and downs, but he's my brother, so we're going to have ups and downs. Times we don't like each other, times we do like each other. But, it's all good. And
times you want to scrap with each other, and I know, you guys are playing one-on-one then growing up, I bet. Now, who won more often than not? Was it you or Mike?
I'm going to be honest, it was him more. I wasn't really even that good back then. So he was older and stronger than me, so he'd just take advantage of me for the most part.
Yeah, usually the taller, the bigger brother has the advantage. Now, my brother's younger, but bigger than me. I don't have much height on me, as you know. I think everybody can tell when they see me. Now, you met Willie Green and the Warriors on Sunday. The Warriors were in town. They played the Pistons the night before, came here, practiced, and you got to meet Willie Green, who himself had 5 30-point games his senior season. He's a Titans legend. And what was it like meeting Willie? And what did he talk to you about, Antoine?
It was an honor to meet him. I had met him before. I don't think he remembered, but a long time ago when the Hawks played his team. He played the Knicks. That's when Jeremy Lin was on the Knicks. And I met him there at his hotel room and stuff like that. But it was an honor to meet him again, to be honest, knowing what he's done here and just everything.
Now, who else did you meet from the Warriors? I bet you met some players. And who was your favorite guy to meet that you had the chance to meet this past Sunday, too, at Callahan?
I met Kevin Durant, the coach Kerr, Steph, and DeMarcus Cousins. He's from Alabama, so I didn't really know him, but my dad recruited him coming out of high school. So we all have a pretty good relationship with each other.
So what did you talk about with that trio? Durant, Steph Curry, and DeMarcus I'm talking about here specifically. What did you talk about with those fellas? And what did they tell you, maybe giving you some advice on what to do in your career to better yourself?
We really didn't talk that much, but I just dapped them up, and they just told me to keep doing what I was doing. And it surprised me. I didn't know they knew I was doing all this, so it was a really good experience for that.
Now, who's your favorite Warriors player? A lot of people say Steph, say Durant. I'm thinking you might say Steph, but there's also Klay Thompson. There's all these great players, Draymond Green. Who's your favorite Warriors player right now, Antoine?
I would probably say Steph. I like Steph a lot, but it'd be like either him, Boogie, or Klay, to be honest.
And you can stretch it from long distance yourself, like Klay and like Steph. And now your three-point shooting percentage is great right now, and I know you'll keep it up. And is that a result of the fact that the NBA is going in the direction of really it's three-point or nothing? You know, from all these teams, it's all about the three-point ball. Is that a reason why you've really worked on your three-point shot, developed this great three-point stroke as well, Antoine?
It's one reason, knowing like if I was to ever play at the next level, that's a good attribute to have. But it does play a big role in today's NBA, other than a couple years ago, how it was like kind of like it's more of like a game of stretching the game out, stretching the floor. 5 men can shoot now and stuff like that. So it's just something good to have.
And it benefits you when you have a three-point stroke like you do. And what do you think of the game being all about the three-point ball nowadays?
I feel like I fit right in with it. So I love it. I feel like like I said, I fit right in with what's going on just because I can shoot them.
Now, I don't know if you've met the Titans all-time leading scorer, Rashad Phillips, Titans Hall of Famer in the past, but I've talked to him over the years, and yesterday I asked him about you and your game, to give me a breakdown of your game. Here's what Rashad gave to me about your game really quick here, Antoine. He said that you are a volume scorer with tremendous range and confidence, and that you have all the tools to be an All-American. What do you have to say in response to that?
That's just like mind-blowing because he went here and he did incredible things for the program, and coming from him, that's just an honor.
How would you break down your game, and how would you describe your game more specifically?
I would describe my game as not only just a shooter, but someone that can score, get my teammates involved too whenever doubles come or whatever people help off. I feel like I'm almost getting to being an all-around player, but have more stuff to work on. So
with that being said, as a journalist here, I've got to ask you a follow-up question, Antoine. What do you have to work on to develop your all-around game and make it even better than it is right now?
I would say I'd have to work on my defense and just more of me still getting in the weight room and getting stronger, and that would probably help my all-around game get better.
So how much does Dad emphasize you and your defense and the team's defense in improving that as a unit?
We work on it every time we practice for at least an hour and a half to get guys in their spots, knowing what to do in the zone, and just making sure, making all the right reads and stuff like that. So he emphasizes it every day in practice. So back to you and your individual game. All of these accolades that you've garnered already as a freshman, winning the Horizon League Freshman and Player of the Week for the same week, November 26th specifically, when you found out that you had won it. And when you did on that date, Antoine, what emotions were going through your body when you found out you had won not only the Horizon League Freshman Player of the Week, but also the overall Player of the Week for the Horizon League? Not necessarily as shocking, but I mean, you could say it was shocking. I was really happy about it. I felt like I've worked my whole life up to this point to know that something like this would happen and come one day. So describe the kind of significance that has for you. It's a really big deal for me. Like, that was really big for me to get both of those awards in a week. It's put my name out now. People know who I am now, but I still have more to prove. And then I saw, I think it was yesterday, you were placed or ranked number 6 on CBS Sports' Frosh Watch list. Pretty impressive there, Antoine. Did you see that, and what does that mean to you as well, if you did actually notice that? I didn't even know that until just now, to be honest. Knowing that, that's another big accomplishment for me, and putting my name out there more just because I've been overlooked my whole life as far as basketball. So that just means a lot to me, to be honest. So with what you just said, you feel like you're being less overlooked now because your name and profile are blowing up, as you know. Yeah. I mean, like I said, been overlooked since 7th grade as far as basketball. Nobody thought I would be at this point doing the things that I did. And I just kept working hard and everything, and just it's showing up and it's paying off, and I still feel like I have more that I have to prove.
For me, when I was as young as you were, as a freshman in college, it would have been tough for me dealing with all the newfound public attention and just publicity from the media as well. All these stories being written about you. I think it was Brendan Quinn, right? They did a story about you for The Athletic as well. And that was a huge story. Has run rampant. And your name, once again, is just blowing up. How has it been for you dealing with all of this newfound attention and publicity from the media and just from fans out there, too, of your game?
It's really cool. But it's not like nothing I can't handle. I know I've never had this type of attention before, but it's just I have to humble myself no matter what, and I feel like whenever I did get attention, I'd humble myself from it. I never just did it and stopped working. I just took it and just had it with me.
Back to the team now as a whole, which needs to get better to garner more attention. And I know that's a plan and, something that you guys want to achieve this season at Detroit Mercy. Now, with that being said, the 4 straight losses that you guys have endured now, what do you have to do to rebound? You and your Titans teammates, what do you guys have to do to rebound and get better as a team moving forward, Antoine, after these 4 straight losses that you have experienced?
Just to come in Saturday and just work hard, all of us, and just come together as a team, despite losing 4 in a row, because we did win 3 in a row. So we have it in us. We're capable of doing it. We just still got more to work on as a group, and just we're going to get there, I feel like.
What would you like to achieve personally this season on the basketball court?
Being freshman of the year, period, in general, that's a goal of mine. But a big goal of mine is to make it to the tournament and make it far in the tournament. And I feel like once we get everything down, we're going to be right where we need to be come around March.
What motivates you both on the court and away from the basketball court?
What motivates me is my family. Somebody that passed away from me a long time ago, Big John. And he motivated me. He talked to my dad a lot, and he was telling him that I've always would have it in me. And he said that before I even started playing basketball, like basketball. And so that just kept me motivated. And my mom motivated me, my dad, my brother, and a bunch of my friends just saw what was in me and just kept telling me to just keep working and motivated me more, and that just kept me going.
Can you further describe what this Big John individual meant to you, and was he a family friend of yours as well, and how you got to know him and what he did to motivate you?
He wasn't really a family, he wasn't really part of the family, but he was family, and we considered him family. He told me he would tell me that I would be good one day if I just kept working, and he motivated me to do good. He said he could see me making money playing basketball or doing something good with myself playing basketball.
Now here's kind of a random question away from Detroit Mercy, but who is one former or current NBA player that you would love to take on in a one-on-one game? Who is that one individual, Antoine? You can think about this one as well.
LeBron's my favorite player, but one person I would want to play one-on-one with is probably Lou Williams. That's like my favorite player in the NBA because we're the same height, And I try to model my game after him a little bit. That would be a one-on-one that I would want to have.
So how many times has he won Sixth Man of the Year, too? Multiple-time winner of that award, Lou Williams is, I believe. And who would win one-on-one between you and him? Up to 21, win by 2. Who's going to win that one? And how close is it between you and Lou?
He would probably win it, but he wouldn't. I don't think he would win it by a long stretch. I would try to make the game a little close. But I feel like he would win it just because of his experience, and he knows a lot about the game that I'm still learning about. So I feel like he would probably win that one-on-one.
Yeah, right now, because he has some NBA experience in years on you, obviously. What do you like about his game, by the way, that makes you say that, he's a guy that you've watched, you would like to take on in a one-on-one matchup?
I just love his mentality, his scoring mentality. I love how he knows what to do. He knows how to play the game. He's just someone I watch before I go to sleep every night. His highlights and just the way he scores and stuff. I just love watching him play. Now,
have you watched the aforementioned Rashad Phillips and Willie Green in film of them when they played?
Not too much. I mean, I'll probably will after this. I remember I've seen Willie Green as far as professional basketball. I saw him play in the NBA, of course, and Rashad Phillips, I really didn't get to see a bunch of him, but probably after this I'll look it up and see.
Who are some other guys that you watch film of currently?
even I just watch a bunch of basketball in general, no matter who it is. Like I'll just watch a bunch of NBA highlights from games. I'll watch Lou Williams, of course. I'll watch Steph Curry. I'll even watch Klay Thompson. Even though he's taller than me, I just watch how he shoots. I'll watch Devin Booker. Just a bunch of people that score and know how to play.
Is there more pressure on you succeeding because you are the son of the head coach here at Detroit Mercy? Do you feel that is true for you?
There's a little pressure, but it's nothing that, not too much that I can handle. It's just, honestly, it's just really not that much pressure at all for me. I just go and hoop, play the game that I love playing.
So once again, I've told you now probably multiple times that I went to school here. A proud alum. What's it like for you going to school here?
It's a really good experience. My teachers are really good. I love my teachers. They've treated me well, treated me right. I just love Detroit in general. It's just they show a bunch of love here, and it's a really good school, and I really like it.
Now, the academics can be rigorous at times. I know that much. How tough is it for you? Because you're a student athlete as well. I wasn't even close to that. So it was tough enough for me, but for you as a student athlete as well, how tough is it balancing the academics with the athletics?
It is tough. There'd be days like when we would come back from a road trip, like this past week, that we'd have to turn around and I had to get up in the morning and go to school, and I'd just sit there and debate on going, but I know I'd have to go just to keep my grades up and stuff.
What's your pregame meal?
It differs. I love Checkers. I'll eat a chicken sandwich from Checkers with fries or something, or I'll eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that before a game. But Checkers is I love Checkers, so that's something I would eat before the game.
PB&J. Is there a better combo? I think it's even a better combo than Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and those legendary combinations. And for you, the chicken sandwich, grilled or fried? What do you prefer from Checkers?
I preferred it fried. I didn't even know they make it grilled there, so I would have to try it out. But I'd eat it fried.
See, Antoine, I try to go with the healthier option by getting the grilled, but the fried is very good too. Now, what are you jamming to before a game? What's on your playlist?
I listen to a bunch of stuff. Like sometimes I'll listen to slow and calm music, or I'll listen to rap music. It's various artists. It's not just a couple of them. But just more of like, I'll listen to old school music or something like that. It depends on how I'm feeling.
So I'm going to make you an NBA analyst now and pick your brain. Is anybody going to stop the Golden State Warriors this season?
I think so. I think the Nuggets look really good right now as a team. I think the Lakers are starting to figure it out together too. And OKC, they're doing good. There's some teams in the West that I feel like can stop the Warriors, but it's going to be tough on them.
Any hope for the Pistons in the Eastern Conference? Do you like the Blake Show? I like to call it the Blake Show right now with Blake Griffin leading the way for the Pistons. Any hope for the Pistons out east?
There's a lot of hope for them. They have a really good team. I've been to a couple of the games this year. They look really good together. They look like they're figuring it out too. I feel like they can make a pretty good run or a big run in the East.
So I'll leave you with this. What's one thing about your dad? Now, I asked you about one thing regarding you that many people do not know. Then you told me about Fortnite and 2K, and I think we have to play a game of 2K still. But your dad now, what's one thing about him that many people do not know?
They probably do know this, but he's really funny. He's a funny guy, and he seems like he's like to himself. He'll keep it to himself, but he's really outgoing like when he's around us, and he's honestly hilarious. He's probably one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet.
So you got to tell me now, what kind of jokes does he like cracking? One that you can share with us here.
Just like, he doesn't really even say anything that's funny. He'll say stuff that's not even funny, but it'll be funny if that makes any sense. But he doesn't really even crack jokes like that. He's just a funny guy in general. Like sometimes he'll say stuff that's just funny. It's not like necessarily like a joke that he'll say.
Well, Antoine, with that being said, man, thanks for all the time and best of luck to you the rest of the way this season in your freshman campaign with the Detroit Mercy Titans.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thanks to Antoine Davis, the star freshman guard from Detroit Mercy and two-time Horizon League Freshman of the Week already this season for all the time on this episode of the Check the Report podcast. And thanks to our sponsors, Motor City Pawnbrokers and Tap and Barrel Grill for sponsoring this episode of Check the Report as well. And make sure to tune in to this Saturday's episode of Two Bad Hombres. It's a special, milestone, monumental episode of the podcast, as it is episode number 100. Yes, Two Bad Hombres has reached triple digits without being canceled as of yet, at least. And on this week's episode of Two Bad Hombres, our featured guest is the first student athlete in NCAA history with autism to sign a national letter of intent to play a team sport at a Division I school. And his name is Kalen Bennett, who is signed on the dotted line to play basketball starting next season at Kent State. What a great story that Kalen was able to share with us as being, once again, the first player with autism in NCAA history to gain a scholarship for a team sport at a Division I school. A great story indeed that Kalen did share with us, and very inspirational for all of those out there dealing with autism and growing up with it today with aspirations of becoming a D1 student athlete just like Kalen. And with all that being said, this has been the latest episode of the Check the Report podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you again, once again, tomorrow for the latest and the freshest edition, episode number 100 of Two Bad Hombres. Hope you guys tune into that and enjoy that as well, and enjoy the upcoming weekend. And remember to follow the Detroit Sports Podcast Network on Twitter at Detroit Podcast. And you can follow yours truly as well by going to at Vito Jerome. I would appreciate that, and sleep better at night if you do so. Adios.